So we're gonna start off with the classic bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich. I decided to break this breakfast sandwich series up into 2 videos. So part 2, which is a sausage, egg, and cheese sandwich, will be out next Tuesday, followed by the regularly scheduled Thursday video. Anyways, let's get into it already. So we can use a single cast iron pan for this entire recipe. So because of that, we'll cook the bacon first since it needs to start out while the pan is still cold. Starting in a cold, heavy bottomed pan allows the bacon to heat up more slowly, so the fat renders out before the outer surface gets burnt. I cut my bacon strips into thirds before cooking, because for one thing, they'll fit better on the sandwich this way, but we're also making more efficient use of the space in the pan. Plus, the bacon lays flatter, so we'll get more even browning. So just cook the bacon over medium-low heat for a few minutes on each side until it's a little less crispy than you want it, because it'll crisp up even more after you take it off of the heat. Then just place it on a paper towel lined plate and set it aside for the time being. Next we'll want to toast the bun because the rest of the sandwich will come together pretty quickly from here, so we want the bun to be all ready by the time the toppings are done. Now when it comes to breakfast sandwiches, there's pretty much 3 types of buns to choose from. You have a bagel, an English muffin, and what I'm calling a roll or more burger style bun. For the bacon, egg, and cheese, the classic choice is pretty much a bagel. So in this case, I'm using an everything bagel. Before you toast the bagel, make sure to get rid of any excess bacon fat in your pan, which you can either just get rid of or save it in your fridge for later use. Then just coat both halves of the bagel with butter and place them into the hot pan, pressing down on them to ensure that the entire bagel gets evenly browned. I'm not using anything too fancy here. This one is just a grocery store bagel for demonstration purposes, but that's not what I'd recommend that you use. Obviously, the better bagel you use, the better your sandwich will be. So once the bagel is done, remove it from the pan and immediately place a slice of American cheese between the 2 halves. This American cheese is going to provide a nice melty texture, and placing it on the hot bagel is going to give it a head start on melting. For those of you who don't like American cheese, you could use cheddar instead, but just keep in mind that it won't melt as well. So now it's time for the most important part of the sandwich, the egg. I like my fried eggs as runny as possible, so I'm going to show you the method I use to get those nice runny yolks while making sure that the whites are cooked all the way through. So you'll just want to start out by pouring a hefty amount of oil into your cast iron pan to coat the entire bottom surface. I like to use olive oil, but you could really use any type of oil here. So let that oil heat up a bit, then crack your egg into the pan and immediately top it with some salt and pepper. Next, you'll want to tip the pan to the side like so, and using a spoon, baste the egg with your hot oil. You want to avoid spooning the oil onto the yolk because the goal here is to cook the whites thoroughly without cooking the yolk too much. So just continue to baste until every part of the white is cooked all the way through. This is really the only technique you'll ever need to know if you like a runny yolk, because it not only ensures that the whites are cooked all the way through, but you're actually frying the egg, so you get a nice fluffy texture on the whites and some extra richness and flavor from the oil. So once the egg is finished, just open up your bagel, which should be covered in that nicely melted American cheese, and add your bacon, then top it with the egg. You can add another slice of American cheese if you'd like, but that's really all there is to it. It doesn't even need a sauce because there's already plenty of flavor as is, and the runny yolk provides that saucy texture once you cut into it.